Hello, I'm going to give you a brief overview of starting and using a Google site, whether it's for in-class or for distance learning. There are a lot of great tutorials out there on YouTube that will maybe get a little more specific, but I'm going to try to give you the overview that you need to get a site up and running. So I am going to start from my Google Drive. So let's go there. Within my Drive, I'm going to click on New, and I'll need to go down to More and find Google Site. So I'm going to create a new Google site. And there it is. Now already it's telling me that I can visit the template gallery to choose a template for how my site might like to look. Right now my site is called Untitled Site. I'm going to give it a name. To tell what that site will be. So you'll want to consider who your audience is for your site. It's likely parents, as you'll be using your Google Classroom more specifically with your students. So there's the title of my site. That's the title of my site. You notice it's not the title of my page. And it's defaulted over here to themes. And I can choose font style from here. And I can choose a color scheme that I would like to use, and that scheme will be applied throughout. I also have some styles down here, so I'm not going to get too nitpicky about my style right now. You notice that my site title, Mrs. Monagle's 5th grade, is there, but it really doesn't name my page that. So I can click in there and I can name it the same thing if I choose to. And you notice that anytime we're in a text box, it's going to give me the choice to bold, italic, to center or not center. And that drop-down menu gives me different sizes of text that I can change throughout. So there's small. We're going to go back to that title. So I've got my title page. Next, let's talk about the menu bar off to the right side of the page. So we were in themes. We have insert, pages, and themes. I'm going to click on pages to start. When I made my site, it helped me if I had a grand plan for what my pages were going to be. The very first page you create is defaulted as your home page. And the plus button down here will allow you to add as many pages as you would like. So I'm going to click New Page, and I'm going to add in pages that I feel would be useful for a site meant to help parents navigate through a curriculum during a hybrid at home or a blended style of learning. So you can see I've added some pages across the side. I'll just add one more so you can see how that looks. Add a new page. I'm missing science. Click enter or done. And there in my navigation, I can see all my pages. And maybe I decide I want newsletters to be on the bottom. You can drag and drop those pages within navigation and add pages or drop pages at any time. You can see anything that I added as a page now appears across the top in my menu bar. And also you'll notice as I click across that it's maintained my same theme throughout. The same theme, the same text. You can certainly personalize any page that you would like. Now, let's say within literacy, I realize that's going to be a really big subject. I can add subpages within a page like this. I'm going to click New Page. Reading. Done. And I can take reading and I can drag it up into literacy. And now reading is a subpage within. Another way I can do that is click on the snowman, the 3 dots over here. And I can do all sorts of things from here. I can add a subpage right from there. So let's do it there. I can add it as writing. And now you can see up in my menu, literacy now has a drop-down bar where I can navigate to reading or writing. So each of those are pages of their own. I could add a word study page as well. If necessary, I could add units within math, whatever is the best, easiest way for navigation. I try not to have too many choices across the top, so that it doesn't get too cluttered. If you like side navigation, you can find that in the settings gear up here, and all sorts of other things you can choose. So right now the navigation is defaulted to top, but I can choose side navigation, which I kind of like a little bit better. It keeps that top a little less cluttered, but you might like them to appear all across the top. By clicking on those three bars, this shows you what your parents or your audience will see in a side navigation bar. So now you can see very quickly we have a framework for our web page, and now it's time to take a look at adding content. Anytime you want to add content, you're going to use the insert button. So I'm going to click on that insert button, and you can see when I scroll down, there are a lot of choices for things that you can insert to your web pages. We have text boxes, images, insert anything from your Google Drive or embed. I use the embed button an awful lot to put things within my web page. You also have layouts, so you can decide, well, on this page, I just want an image and a little bit of text, or maybe on this page, I want a large image and two small images. So you can choose from a layout, or you can build your own layout. Usually I end up building my own layout. So now let's talk about adding content to your pages. In general, your home page is going to be the first thing that your audience sees, so really consider carefully what you want them to see there. I would encourage putting something there that's not static but more dynamic, something that's going to change with your curriculum. For example, if you are used to sharing slideshows with your families and you want that slideshow to change up automatically within your website, you can embed your Google slideshow right into your home page, and that will change automatically as you update it. You won't need to add it again if you insert it as an embedded document. So I'm going to show you that. I can go to my drive to pull something out, there's a lot of ways to do this, or I'm going to insert a slide. And as soon as the sidebar pops up, it's going to show me all my most recent slide shows. I could also use that search bar, or if I know I didn't have it open recently, I'm going to use the Google Drive button. I'm just going to pretend that this rollout day slideshow is something that I want up on my homepage. I want my parents to be able to use this each and every day. When I update it, it will update on my slideshow. So I'll just click Insert, and you can see it's added a panel to my home page. As soon as a panel is added, I get some tools. Your viewers will be able to open that slideshow in a new tab, or they can view it right from within your Google site. I can also delete if I realize it's not what I wanted. I can resize it. So maybe you have a slideshow you're going to be using that you want there front and center always. I can take and drag it so it appears right in the center. And when parents view it, they will be able to scroll right through that slideshow, and it will update whenever you update it. I can change the section background. Not a lot of choices. You can have an image as a background, but I won't recommend making things too cluttered in your site. That emphasis is going to add your theme color. So if you realize you don't like your theme color, you can always go into themes and switch it. The emphasis one just gives it kind of a light gray background. It kind of sets it off from other sections. If you want to view what it's going to look like when parents view it, anytime you can click on the preview button up here, and it's going to show you exactly what parents will see on a desktop, so large screen. If they're viewing on a tablet, what they're going to see. So on a tablet, you can see that navigation bar disappears, maybe a reason for keeping that top navigation. And you can see what it'll look like if they view it on a cell phone. So it automatically formats it. There's that navigation bar with all your subjects or subpages that you might have. I can exit that preview. You can see if they're viewing on a larger screen, they'll have that side menu always there for them. They can open and view in another tab. Make sure any slide deck that you would put in your site has its settings changed so that anybody with the link can view. It will look good when you view it, but if you haven't changed those settings, your parents will not be able to view it, or your students, if you intend your students to use your website as a launching pad. You can see that that slide deck can be scrolled through right from here or opened up in another tab. So we'll exit that preview. So now I have some content on my first page. YouTube videos can be good for tutorials for content. So maybe I want to add a new page called Google Classroom to give parents a little bit of help with that, or I could add a page called Parent Support, which might be a good idea. So let's take a look at embedding a video. I can insert a YouTube video. That's one way to do it. And I can search for that video right within your sites. Or if you've already got a video located, you can just copy the website URL and you can paste it right into the search bar. If you have a video that you created, like a Screencastify video tutorial for parents, you can choose a video that you have uploaded that you have stored in your drive yourself. I'm going to just paste that URL and click the search button. And it just located that video. I'm going to select it and it's going to insert it in the very next panel. I can resize it so that maybe I have a couple videos. You can see the open in a new tab option is always going to be there so that they don't need to view it tiny. They can view it large as well. So I've got a panel added to this as well. I'm going to go back to my pages. Let's say I want to release this site. I want my parents to be able to view this site, but I have a lot of pages that are empty. I don't have a newsletter yet. Maybe I haven't put anything in science yet. In the navigation bar, by clicking the snowman button, you can hide a page from navigation. So I've just hid that science page. It still exists. I can go to it and I can edit it, but parents won't come to your site and say, oh, well, there's nothing on this page. When is there going to be something there? They just will not see science in the navigation when they are working on, when they are looking at your website. You can also insert text anywhere within your site. Maybe you need a little bit of a description. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box. And it stuck that text box right up above. And I can type a little explanation. This slideshow will change weekly to represent in-class and out-of-class student learning. I don't know if that's the best description. You can again use that color palette to make that text stand out. If you wanted that text to stand side by side, you could use layouts. So I can actually drag that slideshow so it appears next to that text. Everything drags around really nicely within your site so that you can get the layout that you like. So don't be afraid to try new things. This is a text that I didn't use, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. Oh, it looks like I might have deleted something I needed, so I'm going to undo, reload. And maybe on my front home page, I also want to insert my weekly newsletter. So I'm going to go into my drive and I'm going to find one of my newsletters. We'll just insert a random one. And there it is. And you can see that view in another tab is always going to show up. So I can resize this if I want my your latest newsletter to show up large and your others to show up maybe a little bit smaller. Anything within your text box can be made a link. So I could take and link just the words slideshow. Click that link button. and I can make any words a link. It doesn't look that obvious as a link. Another tool that I like to use, and there's so many different tools down here, I'm showing you the ones that I used the most when I created my site, is adding a button. Then it becomes really obvious. So click here to view our Facebook page. You can insert any link to, we'll insert a fake link because it won't let me insert without it. And there's a button. You have to resize that button so that they can view the whole word on it. You can edit that button as well. So I'd like to use some buttons within my website as well. Now this homepage is looking pretty cluttered, but I've shown you how to add different things. Let's hop over to my website so we can take a look at some organizational tips. So there's my homepage. I made use of a button here. This Wakelet Connect collection, I added a picture as an image, and then I linked so that actually that image is a button itself. I use text down here to link to old tech on the toilets, and I inserted an image down there as well. Any of the sections can be moved and switched. So if you realize, oh no, I really wanted this section up higher, I can take and drag and drop, and now I have that as a little divider within that section. We'll click on my pages. I've got a back to school page. Using a button. In this section, I used a slideshow. Okay, so I think the last thing I'll show you is how you can personalize your banners. Right now, as I showed you, each of my banners look exactly the same, which is fine. Right now, it should be more about the content that you lay out for your parents or your audience, but all of my banners look the same. So maybe I want to add a custom banner. You can see when I hover over my banner, it gives me an option to change my image and also change my header type. Right now I have large banner. Nope, I think I had a regular banner selected. A large banner just covers up a lot more of your page. So I'm going to keep with that regular banner. We'll go back. And let's say I want to change my image. I can upload or I can select an image that I've already that I already have saved in my drive. So if I select an image, they have an image gallery that you can choose from. Actually, there's a lot to choose from, not personalized, but you can make your pages look a little bit different. So maybe I like this technology image right there. I can search for an image right there. I can look within my Google photo albums for images, or I can locate within my drive, and it's going to default to my recent images, recent things that I've looked for. So I'm going to go back and just select that image from my gallery, and then I can see if I like it. You can see these little sparkles down here. It's adjusting for readability. It will often dim your image to make your text stand out. So if you don't like the way it looks, you can just click on the sparkles, and then your image will look a little bit brighter. It really didn't make a difference with this image. Maybe you want to create a banner of your own. So I actually created my banner for my Google site. I created it within Google Slides. So maybe you have a Bitmoji banner created that you want to use. I believe the recommended size is 800 by 125. This is a little bit longer, actually a lot bit longer. So when I click on my homepage, and you can see this is not my homepage, but it's a little bit darker. We'll click those sparkles and lighten them. It doesn't include my whole banner because I made it the wrong size, but I'm not terribly worried about that. I could go in and edit if I want to. If you choose to use your own banner, you won't be able to insert it right from Google Slides. You will have to download that slide as either a JPEG or a PNG image. So I'm going to do a PNG image of my current slide. So it's downloading right now. There it is. And let me head back here, and maybe I want to change up that image. And now that I know I've downloaded the image that I like, I'm going to upload it. And it's showing some recent images that I used. Actually, it bounced right to my image file in my Google Drive. I'm going to look for it either in my downloads. There it is right there. If you don't see it in your downloads immediately, you might see it in recent. It's in both places. So I'm going to click right there, click open. And there it is. It's a little bit blurry because the size of mine was actually made better for Google Classroom, not Google Sites. It shows up a lot better in my Google Classroom. You can see that readability adjustment made it darker, and now it brightens up. I can't really see that text, but maybe that text isn't so important because I have my text embedded within my image. So you can have fun with the images in your slides as well. So if you've looked at my website, you can see that I've located images on the web, and I've inserted those images on each web page so it matches that page. And you can do the same thing too. If you do not upload a different image, it's going to use the same image that you had on your homepage. All right. I think I've shown you a lot about Google Sites. There are, again, a lot of good tutorials out there that will help you dig deeper. I did not show you everything within this insert page, but basically anything that's within Google is easily insertable within your sites. The layouts are nice to use that will automatically space things out for you, but you are able to resize things and move things around pretty easily. I think the only thing I didn't show you is that publish button. So I am going to head back to the site that I created for the purpose of this video. I've never touched that publish button. Once I touch that publish button, it will give you an opportunity to rename it. You can see it's going to show you what the URL is. Right now it says anyone at the Oshkosh Area School District can view my site. That will not cover your parents. So make sure you click Manage. And I'm going to click Change. And it says my published site, anyone in the Oshkosh Area School District can find it. Now, right now, your draft is restricted. That means you are the only one that can make changes on your draft. You're not going to want to change this unless you are sharing a site with your colleagues. I'm going to click the down arrow, and I want to change it and make it public. Now, you can select and share your site only with parents if you're planning on publishing photos on your site, which I really don't recommend. I'd suggest using Facebook for something like that. So I'm going to make it public so anybody could find and open this, and then I can click done. And now my site is almost published. When I press this button, it'll be officially published. I can share that published link then with anybody, copy published site link, and that's where you'd use to share with your parents. Don't use this share button unless you want somebody else to be an editor of your site. Over on my site, when I click publish, it's actually going to give me a bit of a different view. And after you've published for the first time, it's going to show you changes that you've made. So it's going to show me that I changed my home tech updates and I've changed my Bitmoji classroom page. So it shows you what changes are going to go live. And then you can decide, do you want to publish or not? I'm going to say not because I made a change that I didn't want to go live. So hopefully this gives you enough to get started with your Google site, but don't hesitate to connect with me or your tech coach on anything Google, anything tech. Have a great day. Hopefully this helped.